Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. One of the hot topics at this exact moment happens to be Iceman, and he's now available for you to grind in the arena, both the 4 and 3-star versions. I do not have a strong enough roster to go for the 4-star version, so I may just kind of pick at it later. But my main concern right now is trying to grind for the 3-star Bobby Drake. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And I have just lost my streak as of the last couple hours, so I'm going to be rebuilding it again. So I'll give you an idea of how I tend to build streaks and maintain them for as long as possible when I do not have a roster of 3-stars, which is what I currently exclusively use for this arena because they seem to be worth the most points. So what I do is I kind of build from the bottom. I start with my lowest PI characters and I make a team out of them and I just kind of start going. And I can usually build a streak to around anywhere from 10 to 15 before the computer kind of just knocks me out. I don't do the build up quite consistently, and I'll get into that as we go further. But let me just reconfigure things here. And, you just kind of start, um, you know, you just start from the beginning again. I would say that one of the tricks to doing arena successfully, and for me, success is getting one of those characters that you're grinding for, is to just not be afraid, at least at this point in the game, to get knocked on your butt and have to restart. I find for the most part that when I have to restart, I can usually build my multiplier back up to 3 by the time I get to my highest level teams again. And they're where they're what you want to use when you've got a 3-score multiplier. And I appear to have lag. What else is new? Couple other things. If you are not an endgame player, and I'm definitely not, if you have not already learned this, pick up the parry and I believe it's evade masteries. No, dexterity. Pick up those masteries as quickly as you can and learn to use them. With parrying, you try to block at the very last second, and that temporarily stuns your opponent so that you can counterattack easily. Evade is nice because when you dodge back, you evade any and all damage, which is really nice for some of those special moves that your opponents may have. You also receive a boost to your crit rating when you next attack, and that's nice too. So that would be my second suggestion if you're going to go for arena. And third suggestion I would probably suggest is just knowing your heroes, knowing your champions, and what their capabilities are. And I don't always practice what I preach here, but I know enough to know that Ronan the Accuser has stuns laced into his specials, and that's pretty nice for when you need it. I really didn't need it here because we're starting at the bottom and everyone is currently weaker than me. But know what your heroes can and can't do. I just recently opened a 3-star Dr. Voodoo. I've never played with Dr. Voodoo before, and I haven't read up much on him. And I think my last fight, when I used him, suffered for it because I was just playing him like I normally play, doing the parries, blocks, and then using specials whenever they came up. And I still need to kind of look at him and see exactly what his specials do and how they work so that I can use them most effectively. So know your characters, know how to use them effectively, and the better you know that, the more likely it is you're going to beat your opponent quicker. And you want to end these fights quickly so you can move on to the next one, because more fights is more points. More points is, well, you need X amount of points in order to qualify for the bracket that will award you the character that you want. The, what is it, the 1 to 10% bracket? And that's, you know, for me, that's the goal. King of the Inhumans. Don't you know who I am? I know you guys want me to say that, but I'm just not. You guys can say it. Let's see. All right. Okay, so I've won my first new match. And so I'll get my multiplier boost now. All right, so now up to 1.25, 1.25. And I think, since I'm sticking with 3-star champions, that should come out to about 1,000 apiece at the bottom of the barrel. So let's go back here. And I'm just going to go ahead and apply a filter so that I only see 3 stars. Get these guys some help. All right. Okay, and now we go to the bottom. All right, and then Spidey, Vision, and Daredevil. You might ask why I didn't put Drax in. I try to keep a as diverse a set of classes in my teams as possible. That way it's just less likely that you will get flummoxed by, you know, just a team of others that will be able to manipulate a class advantage around you. Let's see, that looks good. I think that looks a little better. We'll go with this. All right. And again, I mean, these are 3 stars that I just have sitting on the bench right now. I have not leveled them. I will get around to it, but I'm trying to build up my entire roster, and you kind of have to just pick and choose specifics for a while. So, and you don't exactly get ISO 8 by playing the arenas, at least not directly. So, let's see. But yeah, I'm at the 1.25 modifier for points, and apparently I've got an ad coming real quick, so I'm going to pause so that way I can just delete the ad. Stupid thing. It's taking its time. All right, well, then forget that. We will just see what happens. Okay, between that and the lag, that's just wonderful. All right. And again, I mean, the nice thing about resetting your streak is that these fights are easy. There's just less stress on you because you know you can generally take these guys, especially if you've got the parrying and the evading down. I kind of, you know, I know that some people probably think this is terrible, but I actually kind of like it when my winning streak gets snapped, because then I'm like, oh, okay, I can start using my lower level teams again to build up my multiplier back to 3, and that way by the time my high level teams are able to fight again, the multiplier is already there. And they can just mow through the still relatively easy matchups you get when you get your 3 streak, or your 3 score multiplier. That's what I'm going to call it for now. All right, laggy, laggy. Spidey versus Deadpool. Man, got a nice spike of lag right there. Cost me my opening parry. All right. Okay. Now, some of you are probably looking at that symbiote Spidey and going, well, WebZip, if you're such a Spidey fan, how come you haven't leveled him up yet? And my answer to that is that he is a very new acquisition. I got him maybe 3 days ago, and I just have not gotten around to it. But my understanding is that symbiote Spidey is actually pretty good for a cosmic character. I've heard that he hits like a truck, and based on the evidence I've seen, that is totally true. So he's probably going to be a lot of fun to play once I get him leveled up, which will hopefully be relatively soon. Relatively. All right. And if you've seen my score, you can see that I'm really close to the final milestone for this particular arena. Now, Iceman is very popular, and I believe the cutoff for the last round for this character was around 1.2 to 1.3 million. And so you basically have to kind of double the score for milestones to even have a chance at getting the 3-star Iceman. And given how popular, because that's a pretty big margin, given how popular this character is, you probably want to try to grind beyond that if you can. You know, time, energy, streak, and I guess luck permitting. So it's easier said than done, but it is possible. All right, and now I've got the milestone. I'm at 640,000. We've got the 1.5 multiplier, and some more of those sweet, sweet battle chips. And more battle chips and units and a crystal, and it's Christmas. You know, sort of. All right, so we're going to go back. And let's see, I'm trying to think, what else would I suggest in terms of trying to do 3-star arena at, I don't know, I suppose my particular level. I mean, it's like with a lot of things in this game and other endeavors, you know, you just got to get in there, put in the work, you got to grind, and know your characters, rebuild your streak, do not be afraid to get beaten, and then just come back and do it as often as you can. Now, if you can maintain an infinite streak, my hat's off to you. Please contact me and tell me how to do it for the 3-star arena, because I've tried looking for information on maintaining an infinite streak in the 3-star arena, and everything that I have seen so far talks all about 2 stars with no mention of 3-star characters in your strategy. And to me, 2 stars, I know you can use them in this arena, but they don't really have much of a place in it. Even if they're built up, they aren't worth as much in terms of total score as your 3 stars, which is why I say you should build that bench instead. And again, there's just no mention of 3 stars in the strategy. So is it new that 3-star characters were able to compete in 3-star arenas, or am I just missing something completely? If you know the answer, please feel free to educate me, because I'm willing to learn. Hey Daisy, how you doing? Ooh, bit feisty, huh? Alright. Man, I am not blocking today. What the heck? Alright. It's weird. I have certain days where I am like a god at parrying, and then I have days like this where I just can't seem to hit the mark. I did recently discover parrying, and oh my god, it changed the game for me. So again, if you don't already have the parry mastery, and I just have one rank in it, totally get it, because it will change your play style. It changes how you play the game, and that's good. It will make it easier for you to get further in things like the arena. Let me see. I have a 2-star Thor. I don't think I have a 3-star. And I really want to get him leveled up. I've been told that he is not only a good damage dealer, but his stuns are really good. But I need to acquire him. I need to acquire a higher ranked one. I'll eventually level up all my 2-stars. Maybe. We'll see. I do use my 2-stars in the, the Crystal Splash and the Summoner Trials, I think they're called. I use them for that. I usually, when it comes to grinding for a 3-star character, I've got just large enough a roster of 3-stars that I don't really feel like I need to incorporate 2-star characters into it. And a lot of my 2-star characters, I've got about a dozen who are pretty much maxed out or close to it. And then I've got a bunch that I haven't leveled up. And I want to, because I want to have all my 2-stars leveled up so I can try just to infinite streak the other arenas, but I just haven't gotten around to that either. All right. Scotty versus Bucky. Scott versus James, I suppose. Okay. I don't know why I lag so much. It seems to only be when I'm recording. Maybe I just need better memory. Wow, you have a metal arm, huh? That is so cool. I shoot lasers out of my eyes, you know that? My goodness. Block. Block, you fool. Lag spike. And he's going to get his special 3 off because I wasn't watching. Okay. Ouch. And I'm probably bleeding now. Now it's my turn. He's really aggressive right now. Whew. Okay. Man, he was going for the jugular there. I suppose one other piece of advice that I have for the arenas, and this kind of applies to everything, is just kind of watch your opponents, particularly how aggressive they are, and kind of plan accordingly. The aggressive AIs are really infuriating, and they have a counter for everything you do. You block, they hit you with a strong attack like immediately. So unless you have godlike reflexes, you're going down. Just know that you're gonna run into those, and they're gonna knock you down. And maybe someday I'll be good enough to stand toe-to-toe with them on a consistent basis, but I'm definitely not there yet. So this is another reason that you should not be afraid to lose, to get your rear end handed to you. All right, so next team looks like it is Venom Pool, Yellow Jacket, and Jane Foster. So, all right. Okay, what have we got? Let's go with this Drax team. Alright. No other really good matchups, but that's okay. Let's see. That's about as good as we can expect. Alright, let's do this. Venompool is another recent acquisition. I've heard not good things about him, but I really kind of like the idea of Venompool. You know, Deadpool and Venom combined. His animations are really funny. Just about anything associated with Deadpool is, of course, but um, I don't know. I've just heard not good things about him in terms of, his damage and stuff like that. I don't care. He is an extra player on the bench for me, and that is all good right now. And the lag will kill us all. Yes, it will. Alright. I'm trying to give you a chance to, use your special there, bud, but you apparently don't want to take it. That's fine. Nom nom nom. That's right, I made him bleed. I didn't even realize I'd done that. Watching him bleed out. Okay. Now normally, when you build your streak up to, I think it's 5 wins, you get your 3 multiplier. And as you can see, I'm getting there. I think that the kind of general line of thinking is that once you hit that 3 multiplier, you should go straight to your top-rated teams. I don't necessarily suggest that. I kind of like to work my way up the ladder until I get to them. Or if it looks like it's getting too difficult as I progress, then I will switch to them. But I kind of like to use my, my quote-unquote bench characters as much as possible before I have to go to my top teams. Ooh. There we go. And just when I open my mouth. Ooh, shocky. Oh, and he's gonna bleed me. Uh-oh, I seem to be having an issue with the feed. Okay, well, I think right now I'm just going to have to stop. So I did win. You may not be able to see that, but I did win. So I'm going to go ahead and call it here, and I'll fix it and come back with another one. Thank you.